Is the megapixel war finally over? Or has Nikon just dropped a nuclear bomb on the competition? Welcome back to TechVibe, the place where we dissect the future of gear before it even hits the shelves. Today we are talking about the ghost in the machine, the camera everyone said was dead, but is now back to reclaim the throne. I'm talking about the Nikon Z7 III. For the last 2 years, the Z7 line has been the forgotten middle child. While the Z8 and Z9 were winning awards, and the Z6 II, I was winning the hearts of videographers, the high-resolution purists, the landscape photographers, the studio pros, and the billboard shooters were left wondering if Nikon had abandoned them. Well, the silence is officially broken. We have just received the most credible leaks of 2026, and if these specs hold true, the Nikon Z7 III isn't just an upgrade. It is a medium format killer in a mirrorless body. But there's a catch. With Nikon's recent acquisition of Red Digital Cinema, the Z7 III is rumored to be carrying tech we've never seen in a stills-focused body. Are we looking at the first ever red-infused photography flagship? Stick around, because we are breaking down the sensor architecture, the AI-driven autofocus, and the shocking price point that might make you cancel your Sony A7RV order, right? Now, the heart of any Z7 camera is the sensor, and this is where the leaks get truly wild. For years, the 45-megapixel sensor was the gold standard, but in 2026, that's no longer enough. The latest reports suggest Nikon is testing 2 distinct prototypes. The first features a 61-megapixel BSI CMOS sensor, likely a refined version of the industry-leading Sony sensor, but tuned with Nikon's proprietary color science. However, the second prototype, the one getting everyone excited, is a staggering 67-megapixel monster developed in collaboration with Tower Jazz. Now, you might be thinking if you really need 67 megapixels. If you're a wedding photographer, maybe not. But if you're a landscape shooter looking for that 15-plus stops of dynamic range, or a studio pro who needs to crop 400% without losing skin texture, this is your holy grail. Unlike the Z8, which uses a stacked sensor, for pure speed, the Z7 III is expected to use a non-stacked backside illuminated design. This is because non-stacked sensors traditionally offer better base ISO performance and cleaner shadows. This is a camera built for the slowdown movement, for photographers who value the soul of an image over the frames per second, but don't let the word slow fool you. Inside this beast is the rumored X-Speed 8 processor. This is the next generation of Nikon's brain, and it is designed to handle the massive data throughput of those high-res files. We are looking at a camera that can still push 10 to 12 frames per second in mechanical shutter mode, which is more than enough for high-end commercial work. Let's talk about the elephant in the room, which is the Red connection. Ever since Nikon bought Red, the industry has been waiting for the cinema DNA to trickle down. While the Z7 III is a stills-first camera, the leaks suggest it will be the first to feature UNRAW with RED's color science baked into the internal processing. Imagine shooting 8K 30p video with the color depth of a Hollywood cinema camera, but in a body that fits in your hiking bag. For the US and European markets, this is a game changer. Professionals in New York, London, and LA are increasingly being asked to provide hybrid deliverables, including high-res stills for print and 8K video for digital displays. The Z7 III is being positioned as the ultimate tool for this hybrid. We're expecting internal 10-bit recording, 4K 120p for that buttery smooth slow motion, and a new heat dissipation design that avoids the dreaded overheating warnings that plagued earlier mirrorless high-res bodies. And then there's the autofocus. If you've used the Z6 III or the Z8, you know Nikon's subject detection is now world-class. But the Z7 III is rumored to take it a step further with Deep Learning AI, Generation 2. This isn't just about finding an eye, it's about predicting movement. For landscape photographers, this means the camera can detect subtle changes in focus distance caused by wind-moving foliage or water, ensuring every single pixel of that 67-megapixel file is tack-sharp. Ergonomics have always been Nikon's secret sauce. And the Z7 III isn't messing with a winning formula for the most part. we are expecting a body that is slightly more robust than the Z7 II, borrowed heavily from the Z8's weather sealing. One of the most requested features from the Western audience has been a better screen, and it looks like Nikon is finally listening. The rumor mill points toward a 4-axis tilting touchscreen. Unlike the fully articulating vlogger screens that many pros hate because they get in the way of L brackets, the 4-axis design allows you to tilt the screen for vertical shots while keeping it on the optical axis. It's a small detail, but for a landscape photographer on a tripod in the middle of nowhere, its everything connectivity is also getting a massive 2026 upgrade. We're talking Wi-Fi 6E and USB-C 3.2 Gen 2 for lightning-fast tethered shooting. If you're a studio photographer in a high-paced environment, the ability to beam massive raw files to a laptop in near real time is going to revolutionize your workflow. Now let's talk numbers, because this is where you might want to sit down. The Nikon Z7 III is rumored to launch at a price point of approximately $3,499. This places it right in the crosshairs of the Sony A7 RV and the Canon R5 Mark II. For a premium audience, this is the sweet spot. It's expensive enough to signal it as a professional tool, but affordable enough to be an attainable upgrade for those still holding on to their aging Nikon D850S. So who is this camera really for? If you are a sports or wildlife photographer, stick with the Z8 or Z9. You need the stacked sensor and the 20+ frames per second. But if your work ends up in a gallery, a magazine, or a massive billboard in Times Square, the Z7 III is being built specifically for you. It is a return to form for Nikon, a camera that doesn't try to do everything, but tries to do image quality better than anyone else on the planet. Is it worth the wait? If the February 2026 launch window holds true, we are only weeks away from the official announcement. The Z7 II was a great camera, but it was a bridge. The Z7 III is the destination. It's the camera that finally closes the gap between full frame and medium format. Before we head out, I want to hear from the Nikon faithful. Are you still rocking a DSLR, or has this 67-megapixel rumor finally given you a reason to switch to the Z mount? Drop a comment below, because I read every single one. And I want to know if you think the red color science is a marketing gimmick or a true revolution for your workflow. That's all for today's deep dive on TechVibe. If you found this breakdown helpful and it gave you some clarity on your next big purchase, do us a massive favor and hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. We have a huge comparison coming up between the Z7 III and the Sony A7 RV as soon as the final production units are out. You absolutely don't want to miss that showdown. I'm your host, and this has been TechVibe. Keep shooting, keep creating, and I'll see you in the next one.